Louis Barthas, an unassuming barrel maker from southern France, became an unwitting witness to the horrors of World War I as a common French infantryman known as a poilu. His extraordinary wartime experiences, meticulously documented in his diaries, shed light on the grim reality faced by ordinary soldiers on the Western Front. This article explores the life of Louis Barthas, the man who chronicled the Great War from the trenches. Early life and military service. Louis Barthas was born on July 14, 1879, in the village of Peyriac-Minervois in southern France. A skilled barrel maker by trade, he was married and had children when the war erupted in 1914. Barthas was called to serve in the French army as a reservist and was thrust into the maelstrom of World War I. Life in the trenches. Barthas served in the French Army's 26th Infantry Regiment and was stationed along the Western Front, one of the most brutal and heavily contested theaters of the war. His diaries provide a raw and unfiltered account of the daily life, suffering, and disillusionment experienced by the common soldier. Key experiences and observations. Trench warfare. Barthas vividly described the squalid conditions in the trenches, where soldiers endured mud, rats, lice, and constant exposure to the elements. Battles and losses. He participated in several major battles, including the Battle of the Somme and the Battle of Verdun, where he witnessed the senseless slaughter of countless soldiers. Comradeship. Barthas highlighted the bonds of camaraderie that formed among soldiers as they relied on one another for survival and support. Protests and discontent. Over time, Barthas and many of his fellow soldiers grew disillusioned with the war and the commanders who seemed indifferent to their suffering. He documented instances of protests and acts of disobedience among the troops. Resistance to militarism. Barthas was critical of the militaristic and nationalistic fervor that had led to the war, advocating for peace and denouncing the elites who profited from the conflict. Legacy. Louis Barthas's diaries, written in the form of notebooks, provide an invaluable first-hand account of World War I from the perspective of an ordinary soldier. His writings serve as a counterpoint to the official narratives of the war and offer a powerful critique of the suffering endured by the rank-and-file soldiers. After the war, Barthas returned to civilian life, continuing his work as a barrel maker and living a modest existence. It was only decades later, in the 1970s, that his diaries were discovered and published, garnering recognition for their historical significance. Louis Barthas, the poilu of World War I, stands as a testament to the resilience and courage of the common soldier amid the horrors of trench warfare. His diaries provide a haunting and unfiltered look into the experiences of those who fought in one of the most devastating conflicts in history. Barthas's legacy endures as a reminder of the human cost of war and a call for peace and understanding in a world forever changed by the Great War.